So I'm back here with another interview, and he doesn't really need an introduction at this point. He's 7-0 as a professional, three-time defending Hex champion. But I'm going to give him an introduction anyway. It's Mr. George Mangos. So thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, just talk to me about your newfound KO streak. Before it was all submissions. Last time we talked, you said you wanted to be like Ilya Depora and start knocking everyone out, and now you're doing it. So yeah, how do you feel now with your highlight reel KOs?
Yeah, and I'm happy. Obviously, like I said to you in our last interview, that's what I wanted to start doing is, start showing different aspects of my game and, yeah, start knocking people out basically. So that's what I've been doing. My last two fights coming off back-to-back knockouts. I can't really complain. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I mean, just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Really, I mean, I always knew I could do that. I strike very well in the gym every day, sparring, and things like that. So it's just yeah, now I'm starting to be more comfortable. I mean, I would like some more cage time to show more like deeper aspects of the game. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll take it as it comes. But I'm happy at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's just good you don't get paid by the round because yeah, you'd have no money if you were getting paid by the round. 'Cause, yeah, you're just getting these guys out of there pretty quick.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, how like because obviously you fought Justin on short notice, and that was like 3 rounds. But your cardio, like you said when we spoke, you said your cardio felt really good. So you do seem to get stronger as the fight goes along. But like these guys, you're just putting them out before you even get an opportunity to showcase that cardio. Or you've cut out. What's going on here? Oh shit. Saying about oh fuck yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, you're just getting these guys out of there before you even
Mm.
get to showcase your cardio because against Justin,
Yeah.
you showed pretty good cardio and that was short notice as well for you. So like you've obviously got good cardio, but you just haven't really got to showcase it because you're just sort of getting these guys out of there pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's definitely like another aspect of my game. Go 3 rounds easily, like 5 rounds. I prepared for 4 5 round fights now. Like five, I've had more. I prepared for more 5 round fights than I have for 3 round fights as a pro now. I've had three rounders and four title fights. So, yeah, my gas tank's well and truly there. And obviously, being only like 21 years old, I'm fit anyways. So, yeah, it's another thing. I got a deep pocket of tools that I can use, and that's one of them.
Yeah, definitely. Just talk to me out. Like, how does it feel with like the KOs? Like, firstly, how did it feel to get like a walk off head kick KO? Like, that must have been pretty sick, right? I think I've seen the video with John Bernard where you're talking about how like your shin hurt afterwards, but like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was still like it was just like the coolest feeling, right? Because like most people on the face of the planet aren't going to get to say they walking head kick KO'd someone. So yeah, just how did that like feel?
Yeah, I was pretty good. I mean, like yeah, I said it was my shin was hurting for like 2 weeks after like the muscle around it, but I mean yeah, obviously I'd rather my shin hurt than my head from a kick, so I was wasn't complaining too much, but yeah, it was pretty sick feeling like especially having no knockouts as a pro to have that as my first one. It was yeah, I was happy with that, but yeah, now coming off another one against Ethan, 35 seconds was pretty good too. I got to knock someone out with my hands, so yeah, just slowly, I'm leveling up, like, and showing I can do it all, really.
Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, you just ran through Ethan. I think he only ever like landed one shot on you. Because did he get like a good shot on you? Because I think like did he have like deceptive power when he did land like a shot on you, or was that just like
I
your?
don't,
Because
no, I don't think he did hit me.
oh, okay, I thought he did hit you in the fight. I mean, it was a 34-second
Nah, he
fight
sort of
anyway. It's like,
he threw like a flurry at me, trying to just he backed me up against the cage, but it didn't land, and then yeah, just stuffed
oh
his
yeah,
takedown, which I was happy I got to stuff one of his takedowns, obviously because he's a high level wrestler and jiu-jitsu black belt and stuff. So yeah, I'm happy I got to defend that because we worked really hard this camp. Stuffing takedowns. I was wrestling. My wrestling defense leveled up this camp so much, which I didn't get to show, like we were saying against Justin, because it was short notice. I never
yeah.
fought a heavy wrestler before, so yeah, I didn't get to show that much in that fight. But I mean, only in 30 seconds, only stuffed one takedown. But at least I got to show that.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's there can't really be more of a flawless performance. You stuffed a takedown, you dropped him 2 times in 34 seconds, and then you
Yeah.
pound like ground and pounded him out. Like it doesn't really get much better than that. I feel like.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. That's for sure. I mean, and like we knew Ethan was he could have been a tough fight if I let it. He could have dragged it into later rounds, just wrestle heavy and just made it ugly. So I was happy I got him out of there early.
Yeah, and I feel like like people, especially like when you do go to Dana White Contender Series or the UFC, people are going to look at that win and say, "Why was he fighting a 4-2 guy?" But you actually look at Ethan Thomas's record, and he's beat really good guys. His only
Mm.
losses were really tough, and they weren't knocking him out like that. Like Blake Donnelly is a lightweight as well. Like David Martinez is the welterweight champion in Eternal.
Yeah,
Like they're not going out there and starching him like you did. Like I feel like that speaks to like your ability that you're going out there and like this is your second KO, and he was fighting like boxers like Blake Donnelly, who literally boxed, I think, Conor Benn Jr. or something like that. Like he was actually a
yeah,
really good amateur boxer, and you've just gone in there and you've completely starched Ethan Thomas. Like I feel like that's a win that people aren't going to recognize really, like from an outside perspective. Like I feel like Americans are going to look at that and say, "Oh, he's fighting a 4-2 guy," but that's actually
yeah.
such a really good win, especially with his jiu-jitsu credentials, wrestling credentials, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And like, well, yeah, he never lost at featherweight. He only lost to two lightweights by decision.
Yeah.
He never been finished either. So yeah, I was happy I got it to do that. Like his first finish, his first loss at featherweight. So yeah, he beat other guys like he beat Caleb Ryder as well, who's welterweight
Yeah.
now. Like he's beat a lot of like tough guys. So he's been around for a while. We actually trained at the same gym for a little bit when I was like 12, at my old gym. He was training with like Rob and that. Um and yeah, I remember seeing him around then, but I was too young to train with him then. But I
Yeah.
remember he was good, like training with those guys for a long time. So he's been trained with high level guys, so it was a good win to get.
I always think about stuff like that, like when like guys who kids were training at a gym and they end up fighting some guy who was older. Like I bet Ethan Thomas when he was at that gym, he wasn't thinking, oh, one day that 12-year-old kid's gonna knock me out. Like I feel like
Yeah,
they never imagined that he's gonna be scrapping with that 12-year-old one day. Like I always think about stuff like that.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like now, even if someone happened at my gym, like if there was a little kid there now, like eventually we're gonna fight, I wouldn't look at him twice. But it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, did you? Because like you did train at Rob's gym. Did you ever like get? Because you're obviously pretty young, but did you ever like train with him or get to know him pretty well? Like when you were training there?
No, not really. I was sort of when they left that gym. It was when like I started training more with the adults because I was hitting around like 13, 14. Then I was getting a bit older. But when they were there, I was still like I think I was just starting high school and stuff when like I started training every day and taking it more seriously. So yeah, no, I didn't train with him directly, especially because they're middleweights too. They're pretty fucking big boys.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially Rob. Yeah, he gets pretty big out of camp as well. So yeah,
Mm.
it'd be a lot bigger. Especially because you were a flyweight at one point, I remember.
Yeah.
So
Well, I was
yeah, it would
15,
have.
so yeah, I had my
Yeah,
first fight at flyweight.
yeah, yeah. That definitely wouldn't probably be a good idea. Especially because
Nah.
that would have been like Rob when he was like UFC champion as well,
Yeah,
right? That would have been around that
exactly.
time. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, obviously you've beat Ethan Thomas. Like, there's not really much else for you in the featherweight division. Like, you sort of just beat like the best guys. Like
Yeah.
you're 7-0. Like there's not really much more you can ask. So like I would just take it like it's Dana White Contender Series next, right? Like has there been any talks? You heard anything about that?
Yeah, look, it's looking pretty promising. I mean, obviously, like you said, I've done pretty much all there is to do on the regional scene. Won the belt, defended it 3 times against the best in the country. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. Tim, I got Tim as my manager. Obviously, he knows what he's doing. So yeah, I'm sure we got something like that in the pipelines, whether it's debut or contender series. Like by the end of the year, I would have fought on one of those or had my debut definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Like, because you're someone who likes to stay pretty active. So obviously, I'd imagine Dana White Contender Series is probably like September around that range. If you're,
Mm.
that's like the first week. So you just looking to like sharpen your skills in that meantime. Work on some like you just work on your skills for the months you're waiting and all that. Is that sort of what your plan will be?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like all of last year, I was in camp, and then up until now, I was in camp too because I was supposed to fight early last year against Dean Jones. Then he pulled out, and then we got like readjusted to fight Dims, and then that fell through, and then
Yeah.
we fought Justin. So like from like March, I was in camp until June to fight Justin, and then Obviously, then I backed up again for Jarrett. Only had like 2 weeks break, and then was in back into camp. Another 2 week break, then back into camp again for Tomato. Another 2 week break, and then back into camp for Ethan now. So if it's contender series is it would be good because there's like 4 or 5 months in between it would, until it starts, so I could have like a month or two like out of camp and just just getting better all around and enjoying training and not like busting my balls every day. And then I can have a
Yeah.
solid 3 months or so to prepare for contender series.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like you've really just gone like full, just fucking yeah, no breaks for you. So it probably would be good because I feel like you notice a lot with a lot of these guys as well when they go have like these breaks for Dana White Contender Series. They always have their best performances. Like Quillen
Mm,
Salkeld looked so improved when he fought on Dana White Contender Series. Like his boxing looked even sharper than it was on the regional scene.
mm.
Like I feel like you see a lot of the Aussie guys, especially, have like their best performances on Dana White Contender Series after all the time like sharpening their skills and stuff like that. They really showcase their like well-roundedness.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's what I'm looking to do. So yeah, I want to be, as prepared as possible for that. So yeah, we're gonna take the time. Hopefully, we get the opportunity comes through, and yeah, when it does, I'll make the most of it. So we're just gonna relax for a bit now, and then yeah, we'll go from there.
This is what I think is going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I just think this is what's going to happen. I reckon they're going to do you versus Seb Saleh for Dana White Contender Series
Yeah,
because they
cool,
did it
man.
with Drillich and Sean Gauchi. So I reckon they're probably going to do something similar because they'll try and get one of the featherweights from Oz. So I reckon they'll match you two up. I have
Yeah.
a feeling that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, obviously, I'd be open to that. I'll fight whoever. I mean, I've fought two of his teammates, so I mean, they're nothing against those guys, but yeah, especially for a contract, like yeah, I'll fight anyone. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, definitely. But if not, then who knows? There's so many featherweight prospects out there that you could fight. Like, there's
Yeah,
featherweight's just got to be one of the best regional divisions in like the world. Like, you got like
yeah,
every you could just go from any country in the world, and they have like a real high level featherweight.
yeah, exactly. There's plenty of options out there, so I'm sure, yeah, there won't be any troubles finding an opponent if they want to put me on there.
Yeah, is if like I don't know if you keep up to date with like the worldwide regional scenes or anything like that, but would there be like a featherweight you'd like to fight, or just obviously just whoever you get?
Yeah, I don't really mind. I've seen there's a few. There's like that guy trains. There's one who trains with O'Malley, who's a featherweight.
Yeah,
And there's another one that trains with Paddy, who's like 10-0. It's featherweight as well.
yeah.
There's a few good guys. So yeah, I mean whoever. I mean whoever they give me, I'll prepare for and I'll take them out.
Yeah, no, that'd be sick. Luke Riley is the one who trains with Paddy.
Mm,
He's got a crazy fight style. He's a bit of a brawler,
yeah,
Not got he doesn't really seem to care about defense too much, but he just goes and brawls, so it's pretty
yeah,
entertaining. And then I know the guy you're talking about. I can't remember his name. He was meant to fight the guy who fought Christian Rodriguez.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
On
god, I can't
contender
remember.
series.
Fauci. Yeah, he was meant to fight Bashi on Dana
Yeah,
White Contender Series. Yeah, yeah, they're both pretty good fights. Yeah, I'd love to see you versus either of those guys. I reckon,
yeah,
yeah, that because especially because these guys got big names. I feel like you're getting a lot of respect and stuff like that now, but I feel like those
yeah,
guys will have bigger names because of their teammates and stuff like
yeah.
that. So I feel like
Exactly.
you go in there, you steal the hype. You already have a big name before your debut.
Yeah, so yeah, either one, any of those guys, or I'm sure there's other fellows. I don't know who they are, but anyone, I don't really, I'm not fussed.
Yeah, yeah, you've always been the yeah. I mean, obviously, you fought Justin Van Heert on like a week's
Yeah,
notice. You're always the anyone, anywhere type of guy. You don't really care.
yeah,
Which, yeah, is always it's good to see a lot of the younger guys with that mentality because you see nowadays in the UFC, especially like a lot of these guys won't take short notice or take these big opportunities. So it's good you got that mentality. It's more of like the
yeah.
old school.
That's it. Especially, I think when you're starting off like your UFC career, you have to be like that. Like whatever the UFC gives you, you got to take it. Like until you're somebody, you can't really take the whatever fights like anything please you. Like you just got to do whatever it takes to get a bit of hype, build a name up, short notice fights, whatever it is.
Yeah, definitely. So is there like a dream fight for you in the featherweight division? Like you get into the UFC, or is there a dream debut, or you just focus on just
Um,
that one dream opponent? Like, what's the like matchups you'd like to see yourself against in the UFC?
I don't know. I've really got like a dream opponent. I mean, I just want to do well. I mean, my debut, I've always said like I want to like I won't be happy with my debut unless I get a bonus. So I want a good finish on my debut. Um, but others, as of like opponents, I don't really care to be honest. Like, I mean, whoever's gonna be, we'll see who's in the top 10, top 15 at the time. But yeah, just someone, people high level. That's what I want to test myself against the best. So we'll see who's still around. Obviously, like there's guys like Diego Lopez now fighting Volk, Mazvar, Evloev. So yeah, we'll see who's there when I'm there. But as of now, there's no one I'm like I look at and I think, oh, I really want to fight him. We'll just see who's the best guy at the time.
Just knowing the UFC, you're getting Christian Rodriguez for your debut. They just love giving him undefeated guys. That's probably what
Yeah.
they're gonna do. Just knowing the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, he looked pretty good in his last fight. It really looked like he was like a vet compared to Bashir. Like he just,
Yeah.
was just was calm and controlled the fight.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's like one of your best traits is your calmness. Like you always
Mm.
hear it in fights. People just talk about how calm you are. Like it doesn't seem like even against Justin, because I rewatched that fight. Like yeah, he got you down in the first round, but you were so calm on the ground. Like you weren't worried. He would try and get your back. You end up reversing it. Like it seems like your calmness is probably one of like the key reasons for your main like your success. Like 'cause you don't seem to get stressed about anything in there. Like it seems like you're just waiting for the bus when you're in there. Like it just seems like it's just a normal day, like it's just a chill day.
Yeah,
It seems second nature to you.
yeah. Well, that's how it feels. I mean, we're doing this for a long, like 13 years since I was 8 years old. So yeah, it is at this point. But yeah. I mean, there's like especially people like Justin or guys with high level jiu. I don't want to make mistakes and explode, and that's where you get your neck snatched up and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, if I had to lose the round to win the fight, it is what it is. But yeah, obviously it worked out well.
Yeah, definitely. And you now have shown that you're not just like a submission guy, because obviously there was the narrative that you're just like people just thought you were a grappler, but you went and
Mm.
showed them your last two fights, head kick. You got a KO with the hands. Next, you got to get like a knee KO or something like that. You just got to
Yeah,
keep just showing more and more wrinkles to your game. Elbow next, like yeah,
yeah.
no, yeah, it's good.
It's,
You've obviously got pretty high level training partners as well, because now you're more than let's be honest, you're off to the UFC, you're off to Dana White Contender Series. It's like
mm,
it's not confirmed, but it's like it's probably so now Marwan is like line
yeah,
dens. You've got another guy coming up. He's just knocked out Barber
yeah,
brutally. It's probably going to be him versus Kikemba, I would imagine, for like the hex
yeah.
belt next.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I'd ask you how you think that one's gonna go, but like, let's be real. I think we know how you think that fight will go.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that's easy pickings for Marwan, man. He's good, man. I mean, seeing what he did to Barber, like everyone who fights Barber is like, oh, he's so tough, which he is, but like no one is able to put him out like that. I mean, he got knocked out by Drulich, but other than
yeah.
that, like Justin fought him twice, Colby fought him, Kakembo fought him. I think I don't know, did Abdullah fight him? But,
Yeah, he knocked out Abdullah.
oh yeah, that's right. Fuck.
Yeah,
Um, Yeah, so everyone that fights him, like all those, top guys in the regional scene are like, this guy's tough, whatever. Like, he just keeps coming forward. He eats all your shots, and then Milan goes and puts him out in like 2 minutes. So yeah, he's on another level. Like we all are at Lions Den. Like time will tell. Like now we're just taking over the regional scene, but soon, that's gonna be just long gone in the past, and we'll be taking over the UFC.
yeah, definitely. Like his skill set is crazy. Like he's throwing wheel kicks, like all this
Yeah.
like oblique kicks. Like he's throwing all this different stuff, and like the feints as well. Like it's just crazy how like just how good his striking game is, and I feel like you could see it with your striking as well. Like some of the influence from him,
Mm.
like the what you dropped Ethan Thomas with is like I think was the same like combo he got Michael Manu with.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so you can see like you two influencing each other's game a little bit. I like that. Like obviously, I've said before, if you have like even the littlest bit of his striking, that you're going to be a champion. If he has the little bit of your grappling, he'll be champion. So, I feel like it's just
Yeah.
like the perfect combo because you're like, I'd say you'll probably I'll say worse since you're probably gone out of the regional scene now, but I'd say you're probably the best grappler in the
Yeah.
Australian regional scene, and then he's probably the best striker. I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy the well-roundedness that's coming out of Lion's Den right now.
Yeah, we got a good mix. I mean, yeah, we work like very well together. Obviously, like we're both featherweights, so he's one of my main training partners. And yeah, I mean, we're just learning off each other. Like you said, you can see it in our fights. He's got like great wrestling and jiu-jitsu now as well. So, but he hasn't needed to show it. Obviously, he's just been knocking everyone out. So, but when the time comes and he has to dig deep in his show different levels, he will be fine. I know that for sure. Like yeah, he's well rounded as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can see it even with like he's got pretty strong hips. Every person who's tried to shoot on him, he's
Mm.
just not let him get him down. And if he does, like, even in his debut, he got like a judo hip toss type thing. So
Yeah,
you can say like he's not just like a striker. He's very well rounded. And obviously you
yeah,
can see that with your game now. Now that you're starching everybody.
yeah, exactly. So now I'm excited for him. Hopefully, like you said, he gets that title fight. It makes sense, him versus Kembo, but we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, he needs. Let's see, he's ready for something like that now. He's definitely the number one contender at featherweight now.
Yeah, definitely. Is there any fights that you wish you got on the regional scene now that you're off to Dana White Contender Series more than likely? Is there any guys you wish you did fight or not really?
So, I don't really care. I mean, the Seb fight would have been cool, but um, I would just it's whatever. I mean, I wasn't obviously I wanted to fight like the best guys and whatever, but the end goal is to get picked up. So if I have to miss out on that fight, but I get opportunity on UFC or Contender Series, and that's what my goal has been achieved.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I think ever since your debut, everyone just knew that this was going to happen. We were going to see you on Dana White Contender Series. Like you've probably got the best strength of schedule of like any of the prospects that have been called up. Of like you look at all the guys you beat. Everybody's got a positive record. Everybody's really
Mm.
like experienced. You step up the competition. Like it is crazy your level of competition for like a 21-year-old. It's why I think you've built so much hype because not only are you beating these really good guys with good records, but you're doing it with ease. Like you've obviously had the interview with Mike Bond. You've got all these guys, built like wanting to interview you. Like you don't really see a lot of the regional Australian guys getting interviewed like by MMA Junkie and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
like how is it just getting all this like big hype from the international companies and all this stuff already? Like, and you're not even in the UFC. Like, how does that all feel?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's like obviously, like you said, I've just stepped up the level of competition every fight. Like I've versed guys with more experience than me, and yeah, they've been fighting for longer than I have. But yeah, it gives me more confidence. And then yeah, to get recognized by people like MMA Junkie, obviously, yeah, my manager again, Tim sorted that out. But it's yeah, it's good. I mean, it's good practice. It was pretty cool to speak with someone like that. Obviously, with such a speaking from such a big, coming from such a big platform. Um, but yeah, it was weird to do an interview with someone with like not with an Aussie accent. So it was good. But I got to get used to it. Yeah, it's I'm happy. It's like it's good that I'm getting recognized for, obviously I've been putting in work and taking out good people. So it'd be annoying if no one really gave a fuck. So it's good that I'm
Yeah.
getting recognized.
Yeah, well, because like a lot of these prospects or watch pages and stuff like that, like they had
Mm.
Justin as the number one guy last year, like to get who should have been signed to the UFC. And I feel like,
Yeah.
you went in there and you took him out, you got him out of there in the third round. Like I feel like that really built your profile, like because you like well, if you would have won the Eternal Grand Prix and everything, yeah, it would have been good. You would have got you would have probably got a lot of respect for that. But I feel like you going in there beating Justin on short notice was probably the biggest gamble you could have taken. But I feel like it was the
Yeah.
biggest gamble that paid off. Because I can't imagine like you probably would have got Dana White Contender Series still, but I feel like your profile it really helped just blow you up like on
Mm.
the mainstream prospects list and everything like it because I would imagine it was a tricky decision to take that fire out on short notice, like, and it obviously paid off like big time, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, well, that was like fuck. It was hard to decide, but at the end of the day, we were chasing. Well, Justin was the number one guy, like you said. All the prospect pages had him as the number one guy, so it was like, all right, let's fucking just do it, test ourselves, and yeah, I could beat him. Like it wasn't like I'm gonna have to fluke it. Like I knew I was better. Just the only difference between me and him was he's obviously had so much more experience. So, but I knew like skill for skill, fight as a fighter, I could do it. So, that's not only was that win helping me with like all the hype and resume that I built, it helped with like just the confidence because I knew Justin was like a UFC level sort of guy that if I can beat him then I'm ready and if I could beat him especially so early in my career just so that yeah I can do all right in this sport, so it just helped with my confidence a lot. So yeah, I'm definitely glad I took that gamble. Obviously it opened up um the doors to fight other good people like Jared because he fought the same night and became #1 contender. And then Hex brought in Tamita from base in Queensland, Ethan Thomas. So yeah, just I think he's done a lot more than me. Done a lot more for me rather than if I just stayed in the Grand Prix. I would have got a win over Dimps and Seb, but that would have been good, but not as good as the resume I got now.
Yeah, and I feel like the guys you fought, like I feel like Justin's like a good test as well before you go to the UFC because every single fight I've rewatched all your fights the other day. Every single fight you've had, everybody has shot takedowns on you.
Yeah,
Jarrett tried to wrestle you. Justin did. Yeah, like every single fight I was rewatching, like everybody shot on you. So I feel like it's really good practice that you're getting all these, grappling defense
yeah,
worked out and everything. Because let's be honest, you get to the UFC, you start making it to the top, you're gonna have guys like Mobzar who's just gonna be trying
yeah,
to take you down. And I remember last time we spoke, you said one of your dreams was to knock out Aljamain Sterling. That'll probably be a fight that happens if he's still around by the time you're getting
yeah.
up the rankings. So he'll be, a guy who's just gonna be constantly trying to shoot on you.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's good. I don't know why. I mean, yeah, everyone does shoot on me before I even knocked anyone out. So it's a bit annoying, but it's good. I'm looking forward to yeah, fighting someone who shoot and then stand with me, and I can have more cage time to show to do more, and then yeah, stuff takedowns, wrestle, box, and yeah, just do it all really.
Yeah, definitely. Because even your amateur fights, like they're all pretty like decently quick finishes and stuff like that as well. Like I think all up, if you count like your amateur fights, they were like what 9 minutes, like combined all
Yeah.
of them. Yeah,
Yeah, something like that. It was pretty low cage time. Like, yeah, when I turned pro, I'd only had like, I think maybe it was like 10, 15 minutes somewhere around that cage time. Like, I hadn't even had one full pro fight, like cage time after 6 amateur fights. But yeah, it's all right. I mean, now I think even now at 7-0, I've had only like 25 minutes of cage time or something like that, and that's with 4 fights that were scheduled for 25 minutes. So it's been pretty crazy.
yeah. I feel like yeah, some people say, oh, because like it's a double-edged sword, right? Because yeah, people say, oh, well, we don't know how he looks like going 3 rounds or 5 rounds or whatever. But then also at the
Mm.
same time, there's not really much tape on you, so it's also like people don't
Yeah.
know what to expect in those later rounds, and they don't know your full game. Like it's both. I feel like it's both a benefit. Well, like your cardio is good, other people
Mm.
don't. So it's probably more of a benefit because there's like less tape on you, right? So that's like
Yeah.
probably a big benefit to you.
Yeah, no, it is. But I'm sure eventually there'll be someone who push me into later rounds. But yeah, when that time is right, like it's not going to be a hassle for me. I can perform just as well. And obviously, seen against Justin, I can perform just as well in the end of the third than as I did starting off the fight in the first round. So yeah, I got this doesn't phase me at all. That thought of having to fight until later rounds.
Yeah, definitely. If it seems like it's not just like your physical skills, your technique or anything, but it seems like mentally also you're just built for fighting. Like you've got
Mm.
that will to win. Like sort of like I always say it's like the Drickus thing. You sort of chad your way to victory. Like against Justin, it was a bit tough, but
Yeah,
the first round was a bit tough. But then you just kept pushing and pushing, and then yeah, eventually you get him out of there. Like I feel like that's probably one of the best traits you can have as a fighter. As long as you're just always there, willing to win, like willing to get that win. You're just always pushing forward. I feel like there's always going to be a path to victory for you. Like I feel like you could be down 2 rounds, but that third round you're coming way harder, and then you'll go for that finish. Like I feel like that's such a good mentality to have.
yeah, that's it. I mean, well, it's not over till it's over. So I
Yeah.
mean, that's I've been like we all know I've been fighting for a long time, so that's just how it is. In the gym, I'm like that. In the fights, I'm like that. Just in life, that's how I am. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna do whatever it takes, as always, no matter what.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of featherweight fights coming up in the UFC, so I'd like to get like some of your predictions.
Mm.
Josh Emmett's fighting Lerone Murphy. I just wanted to get your prediction for that fight. It's going to be a main event, 5 rounder. Who you got for that
Yeah,
fight?
nah, probably Laurent decisions him. I reckon. He's pretty technical, like all round. But yeah, I think probably I don't think he'll put him away. I think he'll get a decision win.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like especially because Emmett is so like old, but he's always gonna have that like cannon in his right hand. So
Yeah,
it's always a tough one. Like Lerone did get dropped by Ige in their fight, but again,
yeah.
Ige just seems to when he's fighting like unranked guys or he always seems to have his good moment in the fight. Like
Mm.
Danny, I
Even
feel
like
like
when he
yeah.
fought Diego Lopez. Like he gave him
Yeah.
some trouble on 6 hours notice. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously, speaking of Diego Lopez, he's fighting Australia's own. He's fighting Alexander Volkanovski in Miami, 5-rounder. I just want to get your thoughts on that matchup.
Yeah, no, I think Volk just bashes him. To be honest, I think like Diego's good, but he's not on that level. Like, and he doesn't have that like one punch power or like that. He's not as like technically like perfect like how Ilya is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Volk does just what Volk does, just maybe 50-45s him like a Max Holloway versus Volk like the third fight. I think he'll just bash him like that.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, I think it's more going to be like a Brian Ortega type fight. I feel like maybe Diego will have a few moments where maybe he like latches up like a bit of a close submission, but I feel like Volk gets out and then sort of just has
Yeah,
his way. Like I feel like we'll probably see Volk bash him a little bit on the ground, but
yeah,
yeah, Diego's still pretty tough. But even then, I don't think his cardio is as good as Ortega's was at the time. Yeah, he beat the shit out of Ortega now, but I feel like
mm,
Ortega's like a bit past it a little bit.
yeah. No, I definitely think it's going to be one-sided that fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. I can't see Volt get knocked out again. That shit would be so
Nah.
sad. Especially like no disrespect to Diego, but I feel like Diego is not like a guy Volk would lose to in his prime. Like I feel like that's a
No.
fight prime Volk wins all day. So yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be a
exactly.
shame to see. Uh, I think that what else is there in the featherweight division? I was gonna ask about Yusuf Zalal, but he literally just fought Calvin Kattar.
Yeah.
Uh,
What was that? Yair Rodriguez same card, but I haven't seen the
oh
other,
yeah,
other
yeah,
guy
yeah.
fight. To be honest, I haven't really seen that. What's his name? Pitbull or something?
Yeah, Patricio Pitbull from Bellator. He was the
Yeah.
Bellator champ. Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
seen him fight, so I'm keen to see like what level he's at. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a prediction for that. You haven't
Yeah,
seen him?
yeah. So he was really good, but I feel like he's coming into the UFC a little late. Like back in his prime, he knocked out Michael Chandler before he went to the
Oh,
UFC. So like he is a good guy. Like he's also balloons around weight classes. Like he was the lightweight champ, he was featherweight champ, and he fought for the bantamweight championship. So he was trying to go for 3 belts, but
oh,
bantamweight just wasn't the move for him. He looked fucking like he looked. Have you ever watched The Machinist with Christian Bale?
no, I haven't seen it.
It's like there's always this image of Christian Bale where he's like 40 kilos or something, really skinny. He looked like that. He was not the weight class for him. And yeah, he lost
Yeah.
to Anthony Pettis' brother Sergio, but yeah, he is
Okay.
pretty good. Powerful guy, short, stocky guy, but I sort of think like Yair's a bit of a nightmare matchup for him, a bit of a longer guy, big kicker. So
Mm,
I'd probably go Yair, but yeah, I
yeah.
don't know. A lot of these Bellator like one guys and stuff like that, when they go to the UFC, they seem to like just come really good. Like they seem to level up when they come. So it wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me if he comes
No,
and
I'm
just
keen to
knocks
see
out
how he
Yair.
goes.
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously it hasn't been announced, but Ilya is probably going to be fighting Islam, or he's at least
Mm,
going up to lightweight. So I wanted to get your thoughts on how you think he'll do in those divisions and what his success will
yeah.
be like.
Well, again, I think he beats everyone, maybe, but I don't know about Islam, just because how big Islam is. Like, obviously, you see or you hear that Ilya walks around pretty heavy, but like Islam just like such a big frame for a lightweight. Like, he's pretty huge. So I don't know if just how the weight and size difference going to affect the fight, but definitely think that Ilya can beat him.
Yeah, definitely. Like you look at him, he's like, especially like we've seen with Islam, like it's not Habib when it comes to his wrestling. Like he does struggle to take a lot of these guys down. Like against
Mm,
Dustin, yeah, he couldn't get Dustin down. So I feel like
yeah,
a guy like Ilya should be, if he can keep it standing, I could really see him just rip into the body of like Dustin did, just really like
yeah,
going like fucking hard at Islam. But Islam also, I feel like could have a lot more success on the feet. Like, because a thing with Ilya, I feel like the head kick is like his kryptonite. Something he keeps getting caught with, and
yeah,
Islam's got a pretty good high kick. So it is an interesting fight. I feel like it's the best fight they could make. In my opinion, the pound for pound number one versus the pound for pound number two in the world. Like these, I feel like they're the two best guys in the UFC. Like skill wise, skill for skill.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm looking for. I really hope they make that fight. Like, I hope they don't make him like there's rumors about him fighting Dustin. Like, have a number one contender fight. I hope they just fucking give him the shot. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him versus Dustin, but I'd rather see him versus Ilya.
Yeah, same. Especially because, yeah, he'd probably beat Dustin at this point, but you never know with Dustin. Dustin always has
Yeah,
those like crazy, like you must have forgot performances, like when he fights these
yeah,
up and coming guys. I know he's literally the champion, so you can't really say like Ilya's like an up and coming guy because he's
mm,
already defending champ. He's knocked out Max Holloway, but yeah, yeah, no, interesting matchups. And then
mm,
it's not in your division, but Jack Della Maddalena, he's fighting for the UFC
yeah,
championship against Bilal Muhammad. I just wanted to get your thoughts on how that's going to go. Obviously, a chosen teammate,
yeah.
but both got the same manager. So, yeah, how you got that fight going?
No, look, I really think Jack's got a fucking good chance winning that, man. Like, I thought he was gonna win. I think he'd beat Shavkat, and I thought he would have beat Leon as well when they were scheduled to fight. But that was a harder fight than both of those guys, I think. But look, I think his
Yeah,
boxing's that clean. We've just got to see. I mean, obviously he was getting taken down by Gilbert a bit, but I think he broke his arm early in the first. So
yeah,
I think he's got a good fucking shot. I really, like they can. I think he can really catch him on the feet with that. So he's got such slick boxing. So if he comes and puts the pressure on Bilal and gets him on the back foot, I think he can put him away.
yeah, and especially because Jack is switch stance as well. I feel like if he goes southpaw, Bilal never really has an answer for southpaw guys. Like I think Jeff Neal's a southpaw, and he
Mm.
had no answer for Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal does have really good takedown defense, but he really battered him, and even guys like Lyman Good gave him a pretty like a beating in some moments. And I feel like Jack is just with the boxing is
Mm.
on a bit of a different level. Like I really do think he's going to win. It's not just like my Aussie biased or anything like that, but I really do
Yeah,
think he can go in there, especially because Bilal doesn't seem to take body shots well. Like I don't know, I just see Jack just. I see it being sort of similar to like Jamal Hill versus Glover, where everyone's like, oh, because Jamal got taken down by Thiago Santos. So everyone's like, oh, he's obviously going to lose. But then he just goes in there and stuffs every takedown and beats the shit out of him. I feel like that's the sort of performance we're going
mm.
to get. I just have a feeling. Maybe I'm just being
Yeah,
biased, but I hope that's what happens. No offense to Bilal, but like, fuck, you got the most
yeah,
exciting guy in the division in Jack with like his boxing, these
yeah,
crazy KOs, and then you have Bilal. I really do
yeah,
hope Jack
exactly.
wins. But
Yeah, well,
yeah,
look, I think Jack's got, I think 6-0 or something in the UFC. He's got 5 bonuses, like everything except his debut got a bonus. So, whereas Bilal's just fucking, decisions.
yeah. Like the thing is, I feel like the thing with Jack, I feel like is the finishing threat is like such a big thing. Like, yeah, Bilal can win a decision, but he's not going to be a guy who goes in there and he comes and gets a comeback KO. But with Jack, I feel like
Yeah,
you got to be perfect for like 25 minutes. And like the thing is, yeah, Jack could just like KO him at any point. Like he could get a combo going and just batter the shit out of him. And yeah,
yeah, that's it. No, I'm really looking
yeah.
forward to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of good fights. We could have two Aussie champions. We've got a big
Mm,
Aussie roster now as well with
mm,
a lot of guys, and hopefully you're going to be the next guy. Hopefully you get the Dana
yeah,
White Contender Series call up, or hopefully you just get like a UFC call up, maybe on the Perth card because they're coming to Perth in
yeah,
I think June or July. Like
yeah, that would be good.
yeah, I feel like that'd be good. Or who knows? Because they do that whole road to UFC thing. Maybe they give you like a showcase fight and then they sign you off that. Because they normally
Yeah,
do that before Dana White Contender Series. So I feel like there's plenty of opportunities that we could see you in the UFC.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
definitely by the end of the year, I'll definitely have had my debut. Maybe 1 or 2 fights in the UFC for sure.
yeah, definitely. Uh, but yeah, it was awesome to talk to you again. I'm glad that I've been able to talk to you for this whole journey from your debut to your your debut for the belt, for the Hex belt. I've
Yeah,
got to talk to you. You're defending the belt. Like I feel like I've got to talk to all layers, and hopefully I'll be talking to you again when you go for the Dana White Contender Series contract, and then hopefully
yeah,
I'll be able to talk to you as UFC fighter, and who knows, one day hopefully I'll be able to talk to you as a UFC champion. Like
yeah,
how cool would that be? The whole journey.
yeah,
But I really do think you can get there eventually. You've got the
yeah.
skills. You're young. You're dedicated to the sport. Uh, and yeah, you know your level. So yeah, thank you so much for talking to me. It was good to
No,
catch
thanks for
up.
having me.
Yeah, and yeah, just look forward to seeing George on Dana White
Yeah.
Contender Series because whoever it is, it's probably not going to be a fun time for them.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so
All
much,
right.
and yeah, I'll just follow George on what's your Instagram? Just if
Yeah,
people
George
want to go follow.
Mangos.
Yeah,
That's it.
awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, give this video a like, and yeah, just watch George's rise because yeah, he's one of the best prospects, not just in Australia but probably in the world.
Sweet. Thank you very much.